It happened again this week on Survivor, as Sue Smay, Caroline Vidmer, Teeny Chirichillo, and Rachel Lamont professed a Final Four women's alliance, yelling out slogans like "Girl Power" and "Who Needs Men," while bonding and promising to run the show. But by the end of the Survivor 47 episode, Caroline was out of the game. While she was not turned upon by her own island sisters, it provided merely the latest example of a gender-based alliance, not making it past the starting gate. Just a few weeks ago, the women all talked about teaming up, only for them to oust Tiana Hallam's that very same episode. So why is it that successful men's and women's alliances are so rare on Survivor? Outside of the famous Black Widow Brigade of Micronesia and the women teaming back up to take out the men on One World, they are as engendered as the Medallion of Power. It's a topic that host Jeff Probst was asked about on the latest edition of his On Fire podcast. Historically, we really haven't had that many gender-based alliances, Probst notes on the podcast. The Black Widow alliance of Siri, Parvati, Natalie, and Amanda Kimmel was obviously the most notable and most powerful. But generally speaking, I think they don't work because the game is so fluid. The host says it is not a matter of women or men not being able to get along, but rather other common game factors getting in the way. It's already a very, very, very difficult thing to keep a group of 4 or 5 people together in any situation for any amount of time, Probst says. So, if you initially base it merely on gender, you are giving up so many other important factors. Do we even think the same way strategically? Do I trust you? Probst continues. It can't be, I trust you because we're the same gender. Do I think I can beat you even though I know you think you can beat me? So there are just a lot of variables that go into forming a great alliance. And the minute anyone on the outside senses that it could be based on something as visual as gender, I think it just makes it a lot tougher. The host also says the faster pace and condensed gameplay of the 26-day season plays a factor. I think gameplay in the new era is very different than the old era for a lot of reasons, Probst muses. Most noticeably is it's just constantly shifting because the game is now played in moments. And one moment can change the entire game. It's one of the hallmarks, in fact. You're trying to improve your game every second of every day because every other player is doing the same thing. Probst then goes on an extended college lecture on mathematician John Nash and the sometimes dueling impulses to pursue a Nash equilibrium while also playing a zero-sum game, and how if one player secretly sees it differently and they don't really think that the player being voted out is the bigger threat, they think their alliance partner is the bigger threat, then I shift to a zero-sum point of view. And that, the host believes, is when alliances, no matter the gender, turn on each other. So to take it all back to a gender alliance, says the host, if a group of men or women are able to pull off a gender-based alliance, it will be extremely noteworthy because the odds of someone leaving an alliance at any given moment are extremely high, and you don't want to be the one that got left.